Modern humans first appeared in Africa around 100,000 years ago. Now, over thousands of years, our ancestors ventured out from this cradle of humanity to explore and inhabit the new territories of Asia, Europe, Australia, and eventually the Americas. The Americas were the last to be settled due to their formidable barriers of water and ice that isolated them from the rest of the world. Now, reaching these lands from Africa or Europe required seaworthy boats and the expertise of skilled sailors and fishermen. Now, coming from Asia demanded warm clothing and the tools necessary to endure an Arctic wilderness, which, of course, the earliest humans lacked. So consequently, we find no Australopithecines or Neanderthals in the Americas. However, humans are very adept at overcoming obstacles. By roughly 40,000 years ago, they were able to construct boats capable of crossing the ocean between Asia and Australia, and they were able to develop the means to survive and prosper at the Arctic gateway to the Americas. Pretty amazing stuff if you really sit and think about it. The emergence and dispersal of modern humans took place during the Pleistocene epoch, a geological period often referred to as the Ice Age. However, it's more accurately described as a series of ice ages because throughout this era, the climate fluctuated sometimes rapidly from glacial cold to warm intervals with temperatures similar to those we experience today. Now, during the cold episodes, glaciers expanded across much of northern North America, and at their greatest extent, around 22,000 years ago, these ice sheets covered significant parts of northern and western Ohio. With vast amounts of the world's water trapped in these massive glaciers, sea levels dropped, exposing the extensive areas of the continental shelf. During these times, the lowered sea levels revealed a broad land bridge connecting Siberia to Alaska, allowing humans and other animals to walk between Asia and America. Now, at the peak of the Ice Age, the glaciers covered most of northern North America, if not all, forming an impassable wall of ice, blocking access to the rest of the hemisphere. Now, as temperatures eventually rose, those ice sheets melted, opening a corridor to the southern lands. Yet, as the melting ice released water into the oceans, the land bridge was slowly submerged beneath the rising tides. This intricate dance of ice, land, and water seemingly restricted when people could have actually migrated to America. Nevertheless, by the time humans reached Siberia, they likely had developed the knowledge and skills to build and use small boats. This capability would have enabled them to cross the Bering Strait without a land bridge, or to potentially follow the coastline southward into South America, completely avoiding the glaciers that covered northern North America. Now, it's important to note that all of this migration theory is just that, a theory. We don't actually 100% know with certainty how humans reached America or when they reached America. So, use your imagination if you want. Now, from an archaeological standpoint, the story of human presence in America starts not in North America, not in the United States, but in a site known as Monte Verde in southern Chile and, of course, South America. The site could be as old as 33,000 years old thanks to the radiocarbon dating of an excavation presenting signs of a fire made by humans and stone tools closely located to said fire. Now, we won't reach anywhere close to that old talking about Ohio in this video, but if the theory of natives crossing the Bering Strait holds true, then we can assume that there is human activity present in North America older than Monte Verde, older than 33,000 years old, just waiting to be discovered. And that, my friends, is a very exciting thought to think. Now, for the case of known human presence in the great state of Ohio, as of now, our story starts anywhere between 13,000 and 16,000 years ago, and actually starts 20 miles from the border of Ohio at a rock shelter in Pennsylvania known as Meadowcroft Rockshelter. Now, it still does have a connection to Ohio, which you'll see here in a minute, but it's located along a tributary of the Ohio River, and it would have served the perfect place for natives to live during the Ice Age. Now, this shelter would, of course, been temporary, as these people had no agricultural capabilities that we know of, and they simply followed game and foraged when they could. Now, here's our connection to Ohio. The artifacts that were found in the rock shelter were sourced from a quarry used by natives for tens of thousands of years known as Flint Ridge in Licking County, Ohio, which is, of course, our first connection of ancient man with ancient Ohio. These artifacts come in the form of things you would expect. Things like tools and weapons such as spear points, knives, and other small blade-like tools called scrapers that were probably used to skin animal hides. They would also have had tools made of wood and bone, containers made of cordage, leather, and other basketry, but unfortunately a lot of these artifacts get lost to history because of weathering. The tools that were found in Meadowcroft Rockshelter are interestingly designed similarly to hunter-gatherers of Europe of over 35,000 years ago, during a time known as the Upper Paleolithic era. This, in my opinion, just shows how truly resourceful our ancestors were, and how the spread of knowledge and our ability to traverse the world were truly unmatched when it came to the animal kingdom. Now, when you think of a caveman, which is essentially what we are talking about when discussing the Paleo-Indian period and the first Ohioans, the first thing many people think of is using stone tools to kill woolly mammoths. And that stereotype, my friends, holds true today when we talk about our very first significant archaeological site actually located in Ohio. Remember, Meadowcroft was technically 20 miles outside of Ohio, located in Pennsylvania. Now, in December of 1989, Mr. Phil Flowers, operating a drag line at the Burning Tree Golf Course south of Newark, Ohio, unearthed more than just peat from a bog. Amidst the soft, decaying vegetable matter, his bucket collided with something unexpectedly hard and massive. It was the giant skull of a mastodon, a distant kin of modern elephants today. This chance discovery unwittingly opened a portal to a lost world. Mr. Flowers' decision to halt excavation offered scientists a very rare opportunity to uncover and study the skeleton, forever altering our understanding of ancient times. Now, this site has been creatively named the Burning Tree Mastodon. This find yielded remarkably preserved bones arranged in 3 distinct stacks: the skull, pelvis, and one hind leg in one location, the ribs and backbone in another, and the front legs with neck vertebrae in yet another pile. Now, upon closer examination under a microscope, many bones displayed cuts and gashes inflicted by stone tools, while some bore scratches and drag marks at their ends. Scientists analyzing these bones concluded that Paleo-Indians had hunted and butchered or possibly found this creature dead or dying nearby, then transported its sections to a cold, shallow pond where it could be submerged and preserved, essentially creating an Ice Age meat freezer for their mastodon fillets. Curiously, the ancient hunters never returned to retrieve their mastodon because the mastodon is thought to have died in late autumn, according to scientists. So it left the hunter-gatherers little time to take everything from this massive mammal in preparation for winter, and they wouldn't want to keep meat close to their campsite as they would attract predators. No stone tools or any other artifacts were found near the Burning Tree Mastodon site, so the only thing truly linking man to this ancient site are the gashes in the mastodon's bones. No need to fear, the artifacts are certainly here. Especially when we talk about Sheriden Cave in Wyandotte County, Ohio. In 1990, the late Richard Dick Hendricks commissioned a crane operator to excavate a sinkhole nestled between Indian Trail caverns. This commercial venture, located in Wyandotte County, was delving approximately 25 feet beneath the Earth's surface. When doing so, the crane unearthed the entrance to a cave. Little did Hendricks realize he had stumbled upon one of Ohio's most significant archaeological treasures known in this great state. Typically, Paleo-Indian sites in Ohio consist of scattered artifacts strewn across the landscape. However, with Sheriden Cave buried under layers of earth reaching to the ceiling, lay a pristine time capsule just awaiting discovery. Through meticulous investigations led by paleontologist Dr. Gregory MacDonald, the cave yielded the remains of more than 60 Ice Age creatures. Among them were ancient beasts now extinct, such as the short-faced bear, the giant beaver, the stag moose. By 1997, archaeologists from the Cleveland Museum of Natural History and Kent State University joined the effort, spurred into action after volunteers uncovered stone and bone tools dating back an astonishing 11,000 years ago. This groundbreaking research received crucial support from multiple organizations and universities, paving the way for deeper insights into Ohio's prehistoric pasts. Archaeologist Dr. Ken Tanskersley uncovered a trove of lesser-known Paleo-Indian stone tools made from flint flakes at the site, suggesting a long-standing human presence here. Moreover, some bones exhibited charred surfaces, possibly indicating early cooking efforts, while others displayed potential cut marks from stone implements. Yet the most remarkable discoveries were still yet to be made. At the rear of the site, archaeologists unearthed the unparalleled concentration of animal remains and artifacts within sediment layers. Here, nestled amidst what seemed to be remnants of a fire pit or hearth, lay a thick bed of wood charcoal. Nearby, they uncovered a bone spear point, a scraper, and a fully intact fluted spear point. Radiocarbon dating of the charcoal in the surrounding sediments pinpointed these artifacts and features to an impressive age range of between 10,500 and 11,000 years ago. The arrangement of animal bones beneath and within layers of soil alongside human-made artifacts suggested an intriguing interplay. Animals had utilized the cave both before and after humans. Numerous hypotheses swirled around the cave's purpose for Paleo-Indians. Dr. Gregory MacDonald speculated that the open sinkhole may have acted as a natural trap, luring animals to their demise from thirst and hunger. Some peccary bones bore marks indicating predation, hinting that large carnivores might have frequented Sheriden Cave like a prehistoric fast food joint, where easy pickings were plentiful. Now, based on the presence of finished artifacts, Tankersley proposed that Sheriden Cave functioned intermittently as a camp for Paleo-Indians. Perhaps a small group stored their tools here, yet for reasons unknown, they never returned to retrieve them. This sporadic human use abruptly ceased around 9,000 years ago, coinciding with increased rainfall and flooding as the Ice Age drew to a close. Over time, sediments gradually filled the cave and sinkhole, encapsulating Sheriden Cave as a remarkable and unique time capsule of prehistoric life here in Ohio. Archaeologists discern the evolving lifestyles of Indians through changes in their toolkits and shifts in their distribution across the landscape over time. Towards the twilight of the Paleo-Indian era, for instance, the practice of fluting spear points with long grooves ceased, though late Paleo-Indian spear points maintained the fluted outline. The fluting itself, though, disappeared. Despite these modifications, certain aspects of their way of life persisted unchanged. The subsequent Archaic period witnessed more significant transformation in toolkits, marked by a greater diversity of spear point forms and a notable increase in their numbers, indicating a burgeoning population. Nonetheless, the successes of the Archaic peoples, the successors of the Paleo-Indians, of who we're talking about right now in this video, were firmly rooted in the flexible hunting and gathering practices established by their Paleo-Indian ancestors. Surviving such environmental fluctuations required the ancient hunter-gatherer groups to exhibit great adaptability and great resilience. Many of the large Ice Age animals sharing their habitat struggled to cope and eventually vanished. Some sought more favorable environments, while others faced extinction. The adaptability of these early inhabitants proved pivotal. Had they not embraced the challenges and opportunities presented by their changing surroundings, they too might have faded into history. Don't forget to join us in the next episode as we talk about the successors of the Paleo-Indians going into the Archaic period. In fact, stick around for a while if you really enjoyed, and make sure to hit that subscribe, because we are uncovering the entire history of ancient Native Americans in Ohio, all the way into the late prehistoric era of the ever so mysterious mound building societies. So, thank you again for listening, and that is it for this video.